ninjas, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie, aka Miss Fearful, running back for our entertainment. If it's the first time you're most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell. I am so love you, and do not forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It's at boldly Owamie. Now, my ninjas, today we're gonna talk about the Danish Deception. I've seen some of you guys come to my DMs and you wanted me to talk about this. My nephew's right here, by the way. Today he is just not having it. He's been crying, so if he cries, you all know. So last night he was having his sesh, okay? He just wanted to sleep on me, so I was like, it's okay, baby, you can be on auntie or mom tea, and I will just go ahead and start this series. When I tell you guys that from the first episode I was hooked. I watched the whole 28-part series, like the whole of it. I missed no video. I didn't miss a single video. And when I tell you guys that the more and more I kept going in, I just kept on getting shocked. I was shocked. And I think that, you know, as much as I had seen a little bit of think pieces here and there on TikTok, anybody actually could have prepared me for what I went in there to hear. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about it, and also just highlight a certain part that I feel like I've not actually seen people really talk about, which I feel like that's the biggest piece of this whole entire story. So I'm gonna go ahead and address them as Mr. and Mrs. Danish, right? So for me, the lady is Onyeka. She is a Nigerian. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce her name right, and that's why I'm gonna go ahead and call her Mrs. Danish, and then I'm gonna call this man just this white man, because he's a white nigga. Not a white nigga, but he is a white man, you know. And I think we're like, okay, let's just go ahead and get into this. So I'm gonna give you guys a summary, and I'm gonna give you guys my opinion when it comes to this whole gender, right? So she met a man, you know, she had gone on vacation, she met this man, and when she saw him, she was like, it was like this man just dropped, okay, from a Calvin Klein like magazine or something. Like, he had blue eyes and whatnot. So of course he's a white man, as I said, you know. And for me, I just felt like she immediately got hooked to this guy, like looks wise, you know. And then after that, you know, they got to sit, and you know, he was with his friend, she was with her friend. He ends up inviting them before they left, and you know, they go there, and she says that, you know, everything was fine. Now it goes on that when she goes back to my America, okay, she American baby, this man basically proposes that they go on a trip. It seems like the first one she turned down, but then the second one she agreed, so they go on a vacation together. And she says this man paid for everything. This man even said he wants to take her shopping, and she can take anything. Now when they say shopping, take anything, instead of her to go get the Chanel bag that she wanted, because she told this man that she wanted to reward herself with the Chanel bag, she didn't go for the Chanel bag, the expensive bag. She felt that she didn't want this white man to think that she was just like everybody else, you know. She didn't want this man to think that, you know, she was just there for his shmoney, and she only went and bought something worth $200 US, okay. $200 US, I think, is just a little over 3,000 rands, like, okay, that is fine. So she says that, you know, while she's there on that trip, mind you, this is the first time, she just, you know, this man asked her what's going on, because she was just not okay. And this man is like concerned what's going on. She goes on to say, I've fallen in love with you, and she starts bawling her eyes. Okay, this girl is out here crying because she's telling a white nigga she loves him first, mind you. This man says, I'm not gonna say it to you back, you know, because I don't want to take your moment, but I'm gonna say it in my own time. So not only did you tell this white man that you love him, he didn't even tell you back at that time. He said that he was gonna tell you at his own time. Okay, that is fine. She says that she was going to the bathroom, she fell, she hit her head, she was bleeding. Does seem like, I don't know, I didn't fully understand, like, was it because she said when she woke up there, she was wet, so she was going to the bathroom, so she didn't know, did she pee herself, but the man said they poured water on her, so it seems like she didn't really truly believe that it was just water. It does seem like maybe she might have peed herself a little bit, and they had to basically take her to emergency, and that's when this man told her that he actually loved her, you understand, and he's telling her that this after she don't bang her head, she's bleeding, she's at the hospital, and everything, she has a concussion and whatever, right? Okay, that is fine. So I'm gonna obviously fast forward the summary, because I'm not trying to like give you guys every single thing. I'm gonna like just summarize everything, right? So now, with them having only gone like for one trip, this man comes back, he goes to his Danish place, and then she goes back to her America. Okay, this man all of a sudden is having financial troubles. Girl, you should have just taken that Chanel back. Okay, this man started to have financial troubles. There's this business that came through, and he needs to buy this building. There's this and that. It's into real estate. Like, there's a lot that is going on, and he claims that he's looking for $50,000 US. $50,000 US, guys, is like, it's a lot of money. You can search it. $50,000 US is a lot of money. It's actually almost $1 million in rents, okay, if not, but almost $1 million in rents. And so this man is like, he's gonna go to his dad. Apparently they've got like I don't know if it's a trust fund or a family pocket that has over $10 million US. And then after that, obviously, he says the dad said he can't borrow him money, blah blah blah. So his solution was now obviously talking to her, as much as he wasn't like begging, but he was begging. Girl basically says she's gonna stick her neck out there, and she says that I'll borrow you money, I'll borrow you money, it's fine, you can do this, you can do that. She ends up borrowing him $6,000 US, if I'm not mistaken, and $6,000 US, you can search, guys, these are crazy amounts of money. Like $1,000 US, about 18,000 rands. So just say 18,000 rands multiplied by 6, you will see that that is not chicken money. Okay, they go on, now this guy would actually visit her. She wouldn't visit him. Whenever she wanted to go visit him, he would have an excuse, blah blah blah, but he was coming this side. She says that when he came to America and met her friends, her family and everyone, everybody loved this guy. Okay, everybody loved this guy. He was just a gem. Even her parents, everybody actually loved this guy. But within, they are starting to have some financial issues. I think the part that I didn't like so much was the fact that she quickly started saying that we were having financial issues. Girl, you was not having any financial issues. That nigga was having financial issues. You just took all his cross and decided to carry it. Okay, they go on to even get married legally. This man even got his citizenship through her and everything, right? So the money issue kept on escalating. She would borrow him 6,000 rands. Next, now he needs like 18,000. I think it was 15, and then ended up wanting another 3,000 on top of that. She ended up giving him like 18,000 rands in 1 month. Say 18 multiplied by 18, you will know exactly how much that is in 1 month. So this girl is saying that her savings were good. Like, she really honestly was in good financial standing. This man drained her. They kept on taking trips that she was the one paying, to a point where even when the money finished, she went into her credit cards, and that's exactly what she was now doing. This man kept on promising that money is gonna come. Oh, now they've done this. Oh, now there is like there are SARS in his country, that they've come for him. There was just so many excuses, but all these scenarios, all this dangerous stuff, all this, well, not necessarily dangerous, but all these stories that are coming up, they all resulted in her having to go into her wallet and basically be borrowing him money. Okay, so So she says that, you know, at one point she did go to his side of the family and everything was fine. His father ended up dying because, you know, he was in and out of hospital. So she was actually stopped on her tracks when one of the friends, you know, they were supposed to go out, and then you know, she basically said to the friend that, oh, you know, the friend was asking, are you guys going out with us? And she said, no, you know, my white man does not want to go out. He says he's not feeling like it, so we're gonna just stay in. And then the friend was like, maybe it's because of all these people that he owes. It's like, oh, what? And it's like he was facing eviction and stuff like that. That, oh yeah, you know, he used to struggle with gambling addiction like 10 years ago, and this was the first time that she was ever actually hearing about this. Mind you, she was not telling any of her family members or her friends that, you know, this man kept on wanting money from her because there's this and that and that. At this point, this is her husband. You understand? Okay, so right before that, actually, what had happened was that one of her friends had actually like called to say, hey, you know, your man has borrowed money from my husband, and that money is $200,000. Okay, like say $200,000 multiplied by 18. That's what I'm blowing, because this is my jaw was on the floor the whole entire rubbish time. Okay, now I was just sitting there like, wait a minute, what? You know, so it does seem like, you know, he took $160,000 and was supposed to go back as like $200,000. At that time, when she was telling him he was owing like $200,000, because he would lie and say, you know, there's this business opportunity, there's this and that I need to do, blah 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 blah, and then obviously, you know, he would get that money. You understand? So at this point, when she found out that the guy had a gambling addiction, I think she started to try put one and two together. You know, she's now thinking, well, oh, he owes me so much money now, and there's also this friends of mine that he owes money to. Are you gambling? She calls him, he comes out, he says, no, that was like 10 years ago, I'm fine now, I don't gamble, this and this and that and that. And then they go on, obviously they go back home, and she basically just corners him to a point where he had to admit that yes, he is gambling. Okay, now I might have mixed it, I don't remember fully, like, did she know about the $200,000 before or after she knew about the gambling? But they ended up actually having to call the friend. You know, she had to call her friends and explain that this guy has a gambling addiction and this is what happened. We're gonna set up a payment plan so that we can be able to pay you back, you know, the money. The friends ended up actually saying that it's fine, you don't have to pay like the interest, just bring back the money that he took, which was $160,000, which is still like, you know, I said $6,000 was not chicken money. Like, this is not even ant money. Like, this is a crazy amount of money. Okay, now at this point, you know, the man, you know, he basically gets to a point where he's like, you know, I'm gonna be going to this gambling addiction, you know, the addiction meetings and stuff, and they're going and everything seems like it's going fine. She says that the guy had a job, you know, she also had a job, but she was also doing real estate on the side, like selling properties. But when she was with this man, guys, for like a year almost, you know, she wasn't doing the real estate, and I think that's where she would get like her large money from. You know, with her job, she was getting paid, but it wasn't like too much, but it was enough for her to be okay. Now this man would tell her that, you know, I've got this investment with this, that it's gonna be coming back when it's gonna be coming out here, it's gonna be doing this, it's gonna be doing that, and she literally would be believing this man. Even after this man had actually told her that he had a gambling addiction, that he had relapsed, you know, but they were still taking trips. Like, that's the thing. One thing about them, they may be broke, but they will have that travel money. They were still taking trips and everything like that. Sorry. So now what happens is that she believes so much that, you know, this man he's fine now, he's recovered, or he's recovering, he's on a good journey, everything was fine. I think maybe for a period of all of like 2 months or something, and then she decides that she was gonna add this man on her credit card. Did this man not rack up $7,000 in debt? What happened? I relapsed. She kept on saying, I was so grateful that he was honest with Jove. Like, girl, what do you mean? Like, you know, at this point, it was actually absolutely just crazy. Now, of course, she's fighting now they're fighting. They get to a point where, you know, the fights are just so much that he decides that he's going to leave her. He decides that he's going to leave her. At that time, her friend and her daughter were actually visiting, so they were there. She steals his passport and I guess his green card to make sure that he doesn't leave. This man packs his bags, he leaves. You know, she drives her friend and the daughter, like, you know, they were supposed to go somewhere, and then she calls this man to say, listen, I've got your passport, like, come back, baby, let us talk about this, let us fix. She's literally now begging this white man after he just scammed her and one of her friends. Now, at this point, you know, this man is telling her that it is over, I'm done with you, I don't even want that passport, I'm doing an emergency passport here, you know, what you did is not gonna change anything, it's just gonna cost me a little more money, and tomorrow I'm still flying out because I'm gonna get these documents that you basically took, right? Now she's offering, can I just drive them to you then, you know, this and that and that, and then obviously, you know, he leaves her. So after he leaves her, now she's at a point where she's in so much debt, and she's thinking of that 160,000 rands debt that, you know, this man is owing her friends. Now this is the time where, you know, she's starting to sing like a bird. She's now talking to you know, his sister and her friends that come to her place. As she was busy talking, the little sister is like, sissy, I have something to tell you. This man borrowed $3,000 from me. Oh, that is when she started crying. Shibubu, that is when she started crying even in the video. She says, I was just so crushed. Now, the craziest thing was that almost every single person that they were in contact with as a couple, this white man was out there scamming like nobody's business. Please tell me why this man went and scammed this girl's father, scammed this girl's mother, scammed this girl's cousin, scammed this girl's brother, scammed this girl's sister, scammed this girl's friends. She even says that there was this couple that we met, and this guy, you know, he saw a white man and he obviously loved him, and he just wanted to put him under his wing and everything like that. Did he not scam that man? $30,000. Now this man, because he's a businessman, he says that they had about 15 business meetings before he could actually give him the 3,000 rands that he ended up scamming him. Now this businessman did not play. He just actually got him served because he opened a lawsuit against him for scamming that shmoney. Okay, she knew nothing about that. When she called this man and said, why didn't you tell me? Well, the man said, listen, you're from Nigeria, like the capital of scammers. The world capital of scammers. I didn't know if you were in on it. Guys, it was a lot. That was when she started sending him messages. You took money from my sister, you took money from my cousin, you took money from my this and this and that and that and that. Like, now, you know, they can basically just definitely see that, yeah, this is crazy. The man did try still go to beg, because at this point, I saw someone do some calculation that this man scammed around $300,000, and that is just between amongst, like, you know, her family members. So I'm trying to just see, like, I'm gonna just calculate, I'm gonna just tell you guys how much is $300,000 in rands. $300,000 in rands, that is 5,212,260. That's how much this white man got away with just from people around her. Now, let's go ahead and talk about everything here. Number one, I do personally believe that she must have had a fetish, or she must have, not necessarily a fetish, but she must have always dreamt of having a white man, and maybe her particular type of white man is the one with blonde eyes, blue eyes, blonde hair, tall and whatever. And I think this man just fitted the description. Number two, I felt that she was definitely too forward of the fact that she was the one that actually had to say I love you first. You know, she was literally just proper being a pygmisha. That's my personal opinion, in terms of even when they said that, you know, she can't cook, she said for the right man I'll cook. Like, it was like, I will cater to you no matter what. Okay, there is some statements that she would say, like she felt she was grateful. It was almost like she was grateful that this man actually chose to be with her. And if you're in love with someone to a point where you can't even focus on what you need to focus on, that's a problem, because you still need to make sure that you get what you need to get done. And I feel like that's something that she really wasn't doing. The other thing again was that she was more in love with him than he was in love with her, and I personally feel like he recognized that and he definitely played on that. The other thing again was that I felt that she was so obsessed with trying to prove to this man that she was not like other girls that would be here for money. She basically is just here for good intentions, that she actually kind of forgot and got blindsided that she's the prize, because she's a very gorgeous girl. She forgot that she definitely is the prize. Now I've seen that people are actually saying that, you know, it was she basically likes self-hate. If it was a black man, she wouldn't have done this and that. And this is where I think I beg to differ with a lot of people in this whole thing. A lot of people are actually failing to understand that this man was a gambling addict. There is no demon that walks stronger with people than people that have got a gambling addiction. I'm gonna say it to you here today. That thing is a demon straight from the pit of hell, and the moment your family member or a loved one actually catches that demon, oh, it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. And when I'm saying this is because, guys, no one will scam you more than someone that has a gambling addiction. And I think, you know, there are people that are calling him a con artist, which I would agree that he's a con artist, but I would say that he is better than a con artist, because people with a gambling addiction, guys, they mean what they say. A person with a gambling addiction will come to you, cook a story and say it, and they believe it. They believe that I'll give you this money back, because they believe that if I can just gamble this money, I will make 1 million and I'm gonna come back, give you your money and give you even more. So when you see this person, even if you don't know them fully, they are convincing, because it's not like they have to convince themselves to convince you. They are already convinced. To you, they're spitting facts, they're spitting the truth, because gambling addiction is a sickness. I think a lot of people that are on the internet have never actually experienced gambling addicts like in such close vicinity to actually frankly understand that gambling addiction turns the best of people to be the worst of people. And it's a very difficult thing, because even when after she, you know, was talking about everything, and after she added him on the credit cards and everything, and when they started fighting and he said that he was actually leaving, she felt like she didn't know how to differentiate between a man and her man whilst he's sick, because gambling addiction is a sickness. So throughout this whole entire story, when she got to a point where she said gambling addiction, I completely 1000% believed her. Not just believed her, but understood her. I understood why she would get scammed, and that is because people with gambling addiction, that's my personal opinion, they walk not only just with the demon but with Satan himself. This person can be someone that loves you more than anything, they will still scam you. That's gambling addiction for you. It turns the most thoughtful people to the most unthoughtful demons in the universe. And the problem is that they do come too. So it's like you're dealing with two people. You're dealing with this demon or this Satan, and then you're also dealing with the individual, and it's always so difficult. I do not even want to lie to you guys. Like when she was talking about how when she found out about, you know, the gambling addiction, she was now at a point where she started now doing research, which means she didn't know anything about gambling. And I think that's why she truly did believe that we can beat this, we can do this. You understand? If you are with a spouse that is having a gambling addiction, please leave. I know they say in sickness and in health, this and that. My nephew is up, Shem, he's starting to cry. I'm not saying like, you know, divorce this person if obviously that's not what you want to do, but I'm simply saying that leave. Like, don't think that you can be able to save this person, because 99.9% of the time you won't be able to help a gambling addict until that person themselves say that, you know, I want help. They themselves institute, I'm going to go to rehab, I'm going to do this, and then they do the work themselves. I personally just wouldn't. If I was married and I found out that my husband is a gambling addict, I am divorcing. I'm so sorry. Like, that's one part of my life that I will never ever let myself go through, because I have seen what it has done to some of the people that I know around me, and I'm like, I will not go through all that, you know. So I think that she really thought that she could help this man. Was she in love? 1,000%. She was way too in love with this man, because I do feel like there was that element of perhaps maybe she wished, you know, to have a white man, and she got one, and that is rich also, because he lied about everything. Like literally 99% of everything he basically lied. I saw some people saying that no, you know, she and her family, they just wanted you know, this man because he was white, blah blah blah. I truly don't believe that her family had anything to do with this, because remember, throughout the whole time she was not communicating with the family, and he would always tell the family, friends, cousins, everyone to say that don't tell her. I did see someone actually talk about how these people just don't gossip, because if it was people in my life, trust and believe, they would have actually gossiped and be like, hey, he took 200 from you, he took 300 from me. They would have definitely come to tell me, you know. So having people that don't gossip, that's also one of the disadvantages. You won't find out stuff sometimes until it is actually too late. You understand? So my take, honestly, when it comes to this whole thing, the demon of gambling is what really was the biggest issue here. You know, she's saying that this man has struggled with gambling addiction for years. Obviously the family said, we thought this is something that happened 10 years ago and it is done, but it wasn't. You know, he just kept changing countries, robbing people, getting a woman there, robbing her, robbing people around, and then, you know, moving on to the next place, doing this, doing that, which is quite sad. And again, if he did go to, I don't know if it was but like, you know, this Chinese side countries, and he did the same, and he came to America, he did the same with her. I think people are being too harsh when it comes to Onyeka. I'm sorry if I don't mention your name right, but I think that people are really truly being too harsh. If you understand and know what gambling addiction is, you would completely understand. Do I think she was a little bit desperate? 1,000%. I think that she was a little bit desperate. Not just a little, I feel like she was very desperate, you know. But it's so unfortunate, because also these gambling addicts, you know, them being victims of the addiction themselves, they're able to scout someone that is desperate like from a mile away. They know exactly how to, and it's such a horrible combo, a gambling addict and a desperate woman, especially because, you know, it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, that's basically what I actually did get, and I want to just say thank you to her. You know, there's no other woman that would actually get scammed by this guy if they follow her or they've watched this story, which it has gone viral. So she has really done well. Those that are acting holier than thou, no, some of you guys would get scammed even more. You just don't have money. It's like somebody that has 10 rands and they gave a man 3 rands, and then you'll be laughing at somebody that had a 1 million that gave a man 200,000. You actually gave more. It's just that you gave less because you ain't got quabble. Okay, So I hate people that are gonna come out and act all holier than thou. I think that was 1,000% just so educational, because there are certain people that still don't believe that white people can be scammers. That is also another way of scamming Shibabam, okay? That is actually another way of scamming. He definitely is a con artist, and I think that it's just a con artist that is also a gambling addict, and that's just a horrible combo, a horrible combo. But anyway, go ahead and comment below what you guys think. From Owamie, was what I love you guys.